Okay. Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to the 1886th consecutive day of the IFPH daily webinar. And before we start today's program, I would like everyone to join me in wishing a very happy birthday to our dear Danish sir. Happy birthday, sir. And
Happy birthday, Dhanesh is
today,
present or not? Dr. Dhanesh is present or not?
I think he has some issues. He hasn't joined yet.
I don't find him. I don't find him here in this meeting.
He
Okay.
hasn't joined, so he has some issues.
So I will call him on the phone and let him know.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, you can start, madam.
Yeah, I'll start, sir. And today we have with us our guest, Dr. Asha B. Varghese, ma'am. Ma'am, are you present here?
You have
Please
to make
respond,
the
ma'am.
co-host. Dr. Hubert, I think you are the host. You can only you can make the anyone co-host.
Sir, I actually don't have anyone present here. So.
Are you are also not the host, na?
No, I can't see anyone here. I haven't admitted anyone.
You cannot do that.
Yeah, it is open, sir. It is open, already open.
Madam Asha, ma'am, are you here?
Okay.
Please respond, ma'am.
No, Dr. Varghese is here. She
Yeah.
is here.
Oh, okay. So she's a chief physician at Ambari Homeo Care Bangalore and currently serves as the president of IHMA Bangalore chapter.
Unless you make her the co-host.
Yeah, I did it. Okay.
Yeah.
Dr.
Okay,
Asha, you can start now.
Okay, sir. So has everyone joined?
This is a slight correction. I was earlier the president of IHMA. Now I'm not the president of IHMA. I'm the vice president Karnataka of Iconic Women's Group now.
Okay, ma'am. I was given the information wrong, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So she will be talking. Dr. Asha would be.
Dr. Asha,
talking.
can you make
yes, sir.
Make your video, your face is half cut.
Okay.
Yeah, you can make it.
Okay.
Is it clear, sir?
No, not yet.
1 second.
Now it is okay. Now it is okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Okay. So Dr. Asha B. Varghese will be talking to us about the management of migraine with homeopathy. Welcome to the platform, ma'am. The dice is all yours.
Thank you so much. I'm sharing the screen. Can you people see it?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, we are able to see.
Okay.
Left-sided headache.
With a silent prayer to Dr. Hanneman and all my teachers and gurus in this group. Let me start the session. So the topic for today is migraine headache. Okay. 1 second. You're able to see it?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can
madam.
see.
1 second, please. Apu, just help me with this. Could you shift it to that side? This one. Thank you so much. So a migraine is a headache that can cause intense throbbing pain or a pulsing feeling, usually on one side of the head, and it often happens with nausea, vomiting, and extreme sensitivity to light and sound. So initially, I'll explain to you migraine, the different symptoms, pre-post symptoms, and all the stuff, and then we will get into the medicines. And along with the medications, whenever I'm discussing the medicines, I'll let you know a few cases that has come. Okay, so it often happens with nausea, vomiting, and extreme sensitivity to light and sound. So people, when they hear the light of children crying or people talking, etc., the headache seems to be aggravating. They get irritated with light and sound. So migraine attacks can last for hours to few days, and the pain can be so bad that it interferes with your daily activities. For some people, a warning symptom known as an aura occurs before or with the migraine. So they feel a few symptoms, which can be anything. We will discuss about it later. That can happen just a few minutes before the migraine, and people will say, just before the migraine, I got this symptom as a, then I could understand, doctor, that I'm going to get a migraine. An aura can include visual changes such as flashes of light or blind spots. The aura can also cause tingling on one side of the face or in an arm and leg and have trouble speaking. So since the nerves are involved, trigeminal nerve might be involved, they might be tingling on one side of the face or in that particular arm or leg, or they might even have difficulty while speaking. Articulation might be a little difficult for some people with migraine. I'm going to the next slide. Symptoms. Migraines can affect children and teenagers as well as adults. A migraine can progress through 4 stages that have different symptoms. So it is not mandatory that every migraine should have 4 stages, but these are the 4 stages which you may or may not find in every case. First is a prodrome stage. Second one is aura, the attack stage or the acute episode of the migraine, and the post-drome stage. Not everyone who has migraine goes through all the stages. So first we will discuss about the prodrome stage. That is the stages before the onset of the migraine. 1 or 2 days before a migraine, you might notice subtle changes that warn of an upcoming migraine. That is including the person might be constipated. He or she might have mood changes from depression to some people even have elation. They feel very happy. Okay, just before the headache, I feel very elated or very happy, very too much of josh I get and I do all the work. And suddenly I get a migraine, doctor. This can also happen. Food cravings, neck stiffness, increased urination, fluid retention, or frequent yawning. I'll get into the next slide. Hubert sir, I think your speaker is on.
Meeting 10:30 ഇത് ദിവസം ഒരു നേരം കഴിച്ചോ കേട്ടോ, ഇന്നൊരു നേരം കഴിച്ചോ, നാളെ രാവിലെ കൂടെ കഴിച്ചിട്ട് പിന്നെ മറ്റന്നാളില്ല കേട്ടോ. ഇത് 4 വീതം 5 നേരം, ഈ ചുമ 4 വീതം 3 നേരം.
Aura. An aura might occur before during migraine for some people. And auras are reversible symptoms of the nervous system. They usually visual but also include other disturbances. So you can have different types of aura. Each symptom usually begins gradually and builds up over several minutes up to 60 minutes. Example of migraine auras include visual changes like seeing shapes, bright spots or flashes of light in front of your eyes, visual loss sometimes, a feeling of pin and needle on the arm and leg, neurasthenia kind of symptoms, weakness or numbness in the face or one side of the body, and some people even have trouble speaking. Third one is the attack. A migraine usually lasts for 4 to 72 hours if it is not treated. How often migraine occurs? It varies from person to person. Migraines might occur rarely or strike several times a month. So it can either be once in few months it will happen, or sometimes frequently in a month itself you might have a few episodes. During a migraine, you might have pain that usually comes on one side of your head, or it can occur on both sides. Pain that throbs or pulses, sensitivity to light, sound, and sometimes even smell and touch. So sometimes even the smell of a food like colchicum, you will feel nauseous or feel like vomiting. Even touch can aggravate you. Nausea, vomiting is another typical symptom. Post-drome or the symptoms that can happen after a migraine attack. They might feel drained, they might feel confused, they might feel worn out or tired for up to a day or even day or two. They'll feel very tired after the migraine attack. Some people report feeling elated. But some people, soon after the migraine attack, I feel very happy. Sudden head movement might briefly bring on the pain again. Types of migraine. So you have the first one as migraine without aura, which is called the common migraine. Most frequent type, headache without preceding neurological symptoms. Features, it is usually unilateral, one side of the body. Pulsating headaches, moderate to severe pain, aggravated by physical activity. Second one is migraine with aura. That is a classical migraine. Frequent attacks with transient focal neurological symptoms or aura, preceding or accompanying headache. Aura can be, it can either be visual, that is flashing lights, zigzag lines in front of your eyes, spots in front of the eyes. It can be numbness and tingling, that is a sensory aura, or speech disturbances. Third one is chronic migraine. The headache occurring on every 15 days per month for 3 months with migraine features of more than 8 days per month. Hemiplegic migraine. Aura includes temporary weakness or paralysis on one side of the body. That is a neurological involvement. Retinal or the ocular migraine. Repeated attacks of monocular visual disturbances, flashes, blindness, followed by headache. Vestibular migraine, connected with your ear, prominent vertigo or balance problems with or without headache. Seventh one is menstrual migraine. Attack occurs 2 days before or 3 days after the menses. It's linked to hormonal fluctuations. Eighth one is a abdominal migraine, more common in children. The headache might be accompanied by abdominal pain, pain in the abdomen, nausea, vomiting. Sometimes even without the headache, they might have these episodes. Mild headache, but severe episodes of abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting. Causes. Though migraine causes are not fully understood, genetics and environmental factors play a role. So study is still going on over migraine. Researchers are still going on. So changes in the brain stem and its interaction with the trigeminal nerve, a major pain pathway, may be involved. So most of the cases, there might be involvement of the facial trigeminal nerve. Imbalances in brain cells might also be involved. That is, serotonin, which helps regulate pain in your nervous system, can be involved. Researchers are studying the role of serotonin in migraines. As I said, the research work is still going on. Other chemical messengers play a role in migraine pain, including calcitonin, gene-related peptide known as CGRP. Second one is estrogen hormone. Like I said, before menses, after menses, they might increase. That is because of the role of estrogen. Migraine triggers. There are many migraine triggers. First one, we will discuss about the hormonal changes. Fluctuations in estrogen level seem to trigger headache in many people. It can happen before or during menstrual period or during pregnancy and menopause. Hormonal medicines like oral contraceptives can also worsen the migraine. But some people taking the oral contraceptives, they say we feel better with the contraceptives. So alcohol and caffeine. Alcohol, especially wine, and too much caffeine such as coffee can trigger a migraine. Stress at work or home can cause migraines. Sensorized stimuli, bright or flashing lights can induce migraines. Sometimes there was a case in which the person went for a concert or something and the lights in that had started the migraine. So this can also happen, as can loud sounds. Like I said, a typical case of a person going to a concert. Strong smells can trigger migraines in some people. Perfumes can cause, many people I have had with, aggravation after strong perfumes. And they feel a nauseous sensation sometimes with the perfume. These smells can include perfume, paint thinners, smoke, and other triggers. Sleep changes Missing sleep or getting too much sleep can trigger migraines in some people. So some people, they say Saturday, Sundays, we sleep too much and we get a migraine. So that can also happen. Sometimes physical strain, intense physical exertion, include sexual activity, might provoke migraine. Weather changes, a change of weather, a barometric pressure can promote a migraine. Medicines like contraceptives, vasodilators like nitroglycerin can aggravate migraines. Foods, aged cheeses, very old. Some people can get aggravated by cheese, salty food, processed food. Skipping meals can bring migraine. Some food additives like MSG, which is generally seen in all the Chinese food what we make, these can also sometimes cause migraines in certain people. Risk factors. There are several risk factors. One is the familial history. Having a family member with migraine means you have a higher chance of developing migraine. Age, it can begin at any age. It occurs more in the younger ages than later, but even menopausal women also get migraines. Women are 3 times more likely to get migraine than men. Hormonal changes, shortly before or after your first menses, during pregnancy and menopause, the chances are slightly less because of the estrogen involvement, but still I have had many women during menopause who get migraine. Generally, they say migraine generally improves after menopause. So we will look into the remedies. First one is the most commonly used remedy, belladonna. Acute congestive inflammatory headache. The characteristics of the pain is throbbing, bursting pain, hammering pain, redness and heat of the face. So you will see that the face is flushed and red. Sensation of fullness, as if the whole blood has gone onto the face. We feel hot, doctor. We feel, as if the whole blood has rushed into our face. This is a typical symptom of belladonna. Location, right or left, temporal or frontal. Okay, so it can either be in the right side or the left side. It can either be temporal headache or in the temporal headache or in the frontal headache. What can be the causation factors? It can be sun exposure, cold. Exposure to cold, belladonna is a good medicine. Excitement and menstrual disorders can lead to belladonna kind of headache. Modality, noise. One second. Noise, light, motion, jar, lying down. Aggravates. Amelioration by darkness, quiet, semi-erect position, cold application. What are the concomitants? Dilated pupils, there'll be dry mouth, high fever and delirium may or may not accompany the headache. Keynote, sudden violent onset with hot flush face and throbbing carotids. So what is a symptom? Symptom is of a person with flushed face, hammering, bursting headache. So the reason can be any of those, either menstrual irregularities, sun exposure, cold, or becoming, they got too excited. Aggravation, noise, light, motion, jar, lying down. They can't lie down. They're very restless at that time. And amelioration, darkness, quiet. They want to just sit in a dark room quietly in a semi-erect position because lying down is causing them problem. And they apply cold applications. So sometimes cold exposure can even lead to belladonna-like symptoms. The pupils are generally dilated, dry mouth, high fever, delirium. The onset can be sudden, violent. The face is flushed and there'll be throbbing of the carotid artery. We'll go to the next slide. So the first slide I have told you, belladonna. Second one is also a very acute medicine which can be used for immediate relief. Okay. So I'll just tell you this case. She's a lady from Nepal. So she came from Nepal and she suddenly developed a severe pain. She took some allopathic medications because she stays a little far away from our place. And then she came down because it was like, when she came there, she was in tears. a menopausal lady, and she was continuously crying because the pain was unbearable. Okay. So I will see, you can't take a case of a person in that stage. Like, so you need to give some organopathy medicines in which you need to give immediate relief. Then later on, you can call them for a, case taking, half an hour, 45 minutes of case taking. But immediate relief is very important. Okay. So this person tried allopathic medicines, some painkillers, gave her relief for a period of time, but then it came back. At that time, amyl nitrosum was given because it is a vasodilator. Okay. So the thing is, this particular migraine is because it constricts the blood vessels. So what we give amyl nitrosum as a vasodilator. Tincture form was given. Type of headache is congestive, vascular, menopausal headaches. Sudden rush of blood to the head with throbbing carotid, flushed face, and feeling of heat and fullness. Location, temporal and frontal region, similar to belladonna. Causation can be menopause, heat, excitement, emotion, or even heart diseases. Modality, aggravation, warm, closed room, tight clothings. Amelioration, open air, cold applications, and after menses. Frankly, when an amyl nitrosum, when we have to prescribe many times, it is for acute. We can't get symptoms because that person is such distress, they'll not be even able to talk. Okay. So pulsation, flushing, anxiety, faintness, perspiration, instant congestion and throbbing. Blood seems to rush upwards. So amyl nitrosum Q can be given repeated doses. Third one is bryonia. Rheumatic, congestive, and gastric headache. So bryonia I have given in many cases where there is cervical spondylitis involved with migraine. Okay. So when they can't even move the head, the least motion aggravates. Typical bryonia. Splitting, bursting, tearing pain as if everything would burst open. Mostly on the right side, forehead and occipital region. Aggravation, heat, least motion, and most of the time they do too much of workouts. I had a case in which the person went for yoga and did too much of workout, certain postures which caused the cervical spondylitis, and she started getting a migraine. Overwork, so they're usually associated with constipation, as we all know, bryonia, exposure to sun. Aggravation, motion, stooping, heat. Amelioration, pressure, lying still. So they like to sit without motion, without movement. Cool open air also seems to be ameliorating them. Concomitant is constipation, dry mouth, irritability, thirst for large quantities of water. Must keep perfectly still, slightless motion increases the pain. So as we all know, bryonia might even tell you that I want to get well fast so that I want to go back to work. So this is another mental symptom. I think we haven't covered much of mental symptoms to this. So those people might typically want to go back to school, go back to work, and they'll say like, I have so much of work pending. They might talk so much about work. You can think of bryonia again in that case. Epiphagus virginiana is the the next medication. So exertion or fatigue-induced migraine, mental or physical exertion. For shopping, you can give epiphagus, preceded by hunger and better by sleep with increased saliva. So if you think of a person who's onto shopping, like just before a wedding or any particular program, or just before Diwali, we just came in. So the person continuously does shopping, like, one whole day buying gifts for your people, everything. And then they come with a migraine. Think of epiphagus. So exertion and fatigue induced migraine. So if you do too much of exertion or you're doing so much of Diwali cleaning, etc., even that can cause a headache. Mental or physical exertion. Dull or pressing pain on one side, recurring in the same place over and over. Usually temporal, sometimes occipital, can shift sides. So what is the causation? Fatigue. You are so tired, overworking, excitement, overexertion. This can happen even when you are traveling also. Okay. Exertion, aggravation, exertion, excitement, mental or physical fatigue, amelioration, lying down, rest. What are the concomitants? You feel nauseous. See, after doing so much of physical work, shopping, etc., you feel hungry. And sometimes if you don't eat on time, you might feel nauseous. So this is how you can remember the case. Irritable mood, aversion to noise, headache always returns at the same spot after fatigue or excitement. We'll go to the next one. Am I too fast? Okay. I'm getting a few messages. Yes. So the next medicine is gelsemium. Type of headache is nervous, congestive, anticipatory headache. Now look at the gelsemium eye. So the person has an exam to write, children also, or they have some any kind of presentations to make. I could have got a headache today. So it is an anticipatory anxiety headache. Okay. What is the character of the headache? Dull, heavy, band-like sensation. Head feels too large and heavy. Well, where is the location? Location is occiput and it can go towards the forehead, often right side. Causation, emotional excitement, anticipation, and you can even get a headache with a fever. For that also, gelsemium is a very good medicine. Sun exposure, heat. Aggravation, emotion, anticipation, sun, heat, smoking. Amelioration after urination. It's very typical of gelsemium. After urinating, my headache seems to be feeling better. Quiet, rest, and sleep. What are the concomitants? You have drowsiness, trembling, heaviness of the lid. So how do you typically see a gelsemium case? Dull, heavy eyelids, and the person is, you know, he's probably had a exam or something just around the corner. So that can lead to, just for us to remember, okay? Blurred vision, headache with drowsiness, dullness, and heavy eyelid. Going to the next one. Glonine, another typical menopausal medicine. Congestive headache, sun headache. It is one of the best medicines for sun strokes or sun headache, heat-induced headache. So I have taken Glonine myself. Once I had gone to Rajasthan and got out of the airport at 1 o'clock. I think it was May for some function. Just got out, just walked into the car, and that was the first time I could understand what a heat stroke was. Sudden episode of headache, and this Glonine has helped me quite a lot there. So the bursting, throbbing, pulsating headache with heat and fullness. We staying in the south of India, especially we have a moderate climate throughout in Bangalore. We never understood what a heat stroke is until you go there. So the location can be temporal, or the vertex, or the whole head. Causation can be sun exposure, heat stroke, excitement, or aggravation of the alcohol. Also, Glonine can be used. Sun headache, warm room, stooping can aggravate. When you bend your head down, whenever there is bursting, throbbing pain, most of them, and fullness is there, they're not able to stoop down. So amelioration is cold air, cold application. So think of sun is aggravating and cold is ameliorating them. So what are the concomitants you will see? You will see a flushed face, throbbing carotid can be there, there will be confusion, and there will be dizziness. So what is a keynote? Head feels very large and full, and aggravation from sun heat. Iris is the next medication. What is the type of headache? Gastric headache, bilious headache, periodic migraine. So gastric and bilious headache. So therefore it will be associated with vomiting, severe. What is the character of the pain? Neuralgic, burning pain with vomiting of sour or bitter fluids. So this iris is a typical one which is widely used for headache with typical vomiting, etc. Location is usually right side of frontal and extends to the eye, and it can go till the neck. Causation, it can be indigestion. Sweets can be another aggravating factor. Fatty food, Sunday headaches. So usually the periodicity is like every Sunday we get a headache. So that can be iris also is one of the best medicines for weekly attack of, every Sunday I get it, probably because of all the sweets and fatty food we might eat on a Sunday, going out, etc. So aggravation before or during menses, eating sweets, fatty food. Amelioration by sleeping quiet. What are the concomitants? Acidic vomiting, because I said it is sour and bitter fluids come out. So whenever it is sour, it can be a kind of acidic vomiting. You can have diarrhea. There might be visual aura or blurring of vision. So what is the keynote? Headache with vomiting of bile and acid fluids, like, I'm sorry, Glow9 has come back again here. Next one, lachesis. Lachesis is climacteric, congestive, left-sided migraine. Character, throbbing, bursting, or pressing pain. It begins on the left side and it goes to the right side. Lachesis, we all know, left to right. What is the location? Left temple and eye, and it extends to the occiput. What is the causation? Menopausal, hormonal changes, suppressed discharges. Aggravation, heat, after sleep, tight collars, pressure. Amelioration, discharges, menses, nosebleed, open air. Very talkative, loquacious, jealous, hot flushes. Keynote is headache, amelioration as soon as the discharge appears. I'll tell you a case of lachesis. Very pretty lady, very well dressed. She'll always dress up with little extra bling and all the stuff. Big earrings, and you'll not even understand her age is so much. She'll dress up in a very slightly bright colors, etc. Very talkative. So she'll say that whenever just before my hair, menses, the headache will start, doctor. The moment my headache comes, it will disappear. Okay, so lachesis was given to her with very good relief. So these people are very talkative, very loquacious, like, jealousy, etc. Probably they might not tell you immediately, but this is like, they're very lively. They look very much like, phosphorus, but they can be a little more, how do I say, a little more flashier than phosphorus. Melilotus. So melilotus is a congestive headache, hyperemic headache with poor concentration, memory, and suspicious nature, like lachesis itself you can find. So that's why I wrote suspicious, so that you can compare both of it. So fullness, throbbing headache, bursting sensation, and it is relieved by nosebleed. So lachesis is better by natural discharges like menses, while melilotus is better by nosebleed and sometimes even by menses also. Okay. So where is the location? Location is forehead or the whole head. What is the causation? It can again be heat, congestion, suppressed epistaxis, or there was blood accumulated and it is suppressed, and that is causing the headache. The moment that bleeding comes off, he feels better. So what are the causes? Heat, sun, excitement, amelioration, epistaxis or nosebleed, and cold air. So what are the concomitants? There will be engorged veins by which the bleeding might be happening. So red and flushed face. Congestive headache relieved by bleeding from the nose. Next one is natromore. What is the kind of pain? Periodic, emotional, sun or anemia related migraine. I had given a child natromore. That child, she'll cry when she's alone. She will not cry in front of people. And bit of, stresses there in the house. The father was a little abusive towards the mother, etc. So, it took her few days, like, initially she did not say anything. Once she came with the mother, and then the mother opened up. So it was a typical natromore case, and she felt much better with natromore for the headache, etc. School-going girl she was. Typically, I should have thought of natrom group, but then this was like very, the drug picture was, sometimes you give some constitutional medicine and it goes off. Like for very long times, they don't come with any episodes. Or sometimes you need to give some acute medicines also to give them an immediate relief. Otherwise, they'll end up with taking painkillers, and and they come to us saying that painkillers have so much of side effects, doctor. We don't want to be going on to them. Then you can think of myamyl nitrosum and all. But then always constitutional medicine always finishes the case. So what is the character of the pain? Throbbing or hammering headache, often with aura. They feel that it is going to come. Location is left frontal supraorbital region. Causation might be grief, suppressed emotion, sun, and reading. What are the modalities? Aggravation, sun. Heat. Reading is because you can think of school-going children's headache. Okay. Sun, heat, reading, mental strain. Just before exams, they can get a headache. Amelioration, sleep, darkness, pressure, cold application. What are the concomitants? Dry lips, craving for salt, weeping when alone. So I wrote it because, that case was there. Headache from sun or grief, and ends with urination or tears. So whenever they discharge, they generally feel better, like gelsemia. Next is natrum sulph. So natrum sulph cases you might find in the damp weather. Okay. Bilious post-traumatic or damp weather headache. Whenever it is when during rains, I get the headache. So this can be, you can think of a medicine like natrum. And sulph, natrum sulph, which is like for wheezing, with one case with wheezing and migraine headaches. So that person, natrum sulph has helped quite a lot. So bilious post-traumatic head injuries. Post-traumatic, it can be used for head injury. We all know natrum sulph is a good medicine. Next one is, what is the character of the pain? Dull, heavy, bursting headache. They have a sluggish liver type, in the sense they have very poor digestion. So digestive problem is there, very gaseous, always I'm having a gas problem, and damp weather is aggravating. They have some respiratory complaints also. You can think of a medicine like natrum sulph. Left-sided, occiput or forehead. Causation, humid weather, head injury, liver disorders. Aggravation, damp weather, morning. Amelioration, warm, dry air, pressure. What are the concomitants? Bitter taste in the mouth. There'll be coating of the mouth, and there'll be flatulence of gas formations. Headache in damp weather. With bilious symptoms, or bilious vomiting can also happen for natrum sulph. Most frequently used medicine for nux vomica. So sedentary lifestyle. So this was given to a case of a person like CEO of a company, and his lifestyle was like full of parties and alcohol. So he keeps having it. Just after alcohol, he'll say that I feel much better with this, and he pops in just before even the onset of the headache. So gastric headache, nervous, sedentary lifestyle. Character, pressing, congestive pain with irritability and sensitivity. Location, frontal, occipital, or it can be right-sided. Causation, coffee, alcohol, as I told you. Late nights. Stress, constipation is a concomitant with the headache. Most of the times, like bryonia, these guys also have gastric upsets, like it's constipation they have. Aggravation, morning. Noise, light, motion after eating. So this person I told you about, his wife says, in the morning, even if I ask him, what do you want to eat? He will not say anything. If I, ask again, he'll say, I told you, no, make whatever you like. I mean, this is a kind of irritation they'll have in the morning. Nux vomica is typically a very irritable person. Okay. So amelioration, rest, warmth, and a good sleep. Concomitants is nausea, constipation will be there, and irritability will be there. Headache from business stress and overindulgence. A typical CEO picture it is. Next one is onosmodium, left-sided headache, ocular, that is around the eyes, sexual exhaustion, headache, concentration weak, tingling sensation, neurasthenia, and stuttering gait. Okay. Onosmodium was once prescribed to a person who came after a honeymoon. So sexual exhaustion, headaches. So this is one thing you can think of. Character, dull, heavy pain with stiffness in the neck and eye strain. Left, supraorbital or occipital region. Causation, eye strain, sexual weakness, nervous exhaustion. aggravation, reading, exertion, motion, amelioration, rest, sleep, and closing the eyes. Concomitants, dim vision, vertigo, dullness, mental sluggishness, headache from eye strain or sexual weakness, dull left-sided headache. Picric acid, very good medicine for brain fag, but without anxiety. Okay. So you can think of a person who's just simply studying. They're not anxious. They're not too stressed out because of the exams, etc., like gels and all. You can even think of picric acid. It gives very good medicine, relief for occipital headache, amelioration, cold application. Okay. So neurasthenic, tingling sensation, burning will be there. So whenever burning is there, they might feel better with cold application. Think of that. Brain fag or too much of studies, headache. Character, dull, heavy, tired, ache in the occipital region and in the vertex region. Location, occiput, it can extend till the eyes or the neck. Causation, mental overwork, study, strain, fatigue. A very studious child can get this. It's very studious child who always get ranks, etc. You can think of picric acid, typically. They're not, fear. There is no fear of exams, etc. Mental exertion, heat, aggravates. Better by rest and cold application. So what are the concomitants? Prostration, vertigo, tired eyes. So person is studying continuously. The person is tired. He might even get vertigo. He will have tired eyes. So typically it looks like gelsemia, but there will be no anxiety. Dull occipital headache with brain exhaustion. Next one is sanguinaria. So iris, sanguinaria, etc. We all know. Okay. So this is called a rest day headache. Okay. So this is typically whenever this person is working, they might not get. Saturday, Sunday comes and they get a headache. You think of sanguinaria. What's the type? Periodic. It is bilious, right-sided migraine mostly. It works very wonderfully for right-sided. Spigelia left side, we all know, like sanguinaria is for the right side. Character of the pain is burning pain, throbbing pain, begins in the occiput towards the right eye. Right side, especially the supraorbital region, around the eyes. Causation, gastric disturbances, menses, fasting, or any kind of strong odors can also cause headache. Aggravation, motion, odor, light, noise, amelioration, sleep, quiet, and vomiting, bile. Once they vomit, they feel better. Even nausea, Natsomica people, sometimes they will induce a vomiting and they say they feel better. Concomitants, nausea, vomiting, hot flushes, and burning palms. This is very good medicine for burning palms, burning soles. Keynote, right-sided periodic headache, ending in vomiting and sleep. And as I said, rest day headaches. Going to the next one, sepia. Yes. Sepia, I generally give it to, I have given it to a case in which that lady, she was very weepy and crying when she was telling me the symptom. So I took a whole case and she was like, I'm not able to manage, I'm not able to balance my professional life and my personal life. I'm not able to give enough to my children, and so she was a very hardworking lady. She tries to be the best mother, best, employee, best everything. So then she overworks herself too much. So this was one of the nice cases I had in which sepia, she did not get a episode after giving sepia from, I think till now she hasn't got. Type is hormonal, menstrual, left-sided headache, heavy pressing, stupefying pain, and there's a sense of weight in the head. You feel heavy. Left forehead and occiput, causation, menses, menopause, uterine ailments, overwork. So as I said, typically a person who wants to be the master of all. No one can be a master of all. You can't be best in everything. Somewhere or the other, your weighing scale always goes down. So if you're the best employee, you might not become the best mother or the best wife or whatever. So somewhere it goes up and down. So aggravation, before menses, afternoon motion, amelioration, sleep, open air, exercise. They love to dance typically. So exercise always makes them feel nice. Sleep, open air. Indifference to family, bearing down sensation. So sometimes you will see that women, when they get very irritated, they're like, feeling guilty, they're like, not able to give enough time to the children, etc. And sometimes when the children will start screaming and, etc., they'll completely shut down, indifferent to the family. So we should read in between the lines to see what is that indifference also sometimes. Bearing down sensation, left-sided menstrual headache with bearing down feeling. Going to the next slide, spigelia, neuralgic left-sided headache. So sanguinaria, we all know, right-sided. Spigelia is a left-sided headache. Sharp, stabbing, pulsating pain like a red-hot needle. Left eye, left temple, left side of the face. It can even extend to the occiput. Trigeminal neuralgia, one of the best medicines for left-sided trigeminal neuralgia. Eye strain, cold air. So how do you get a neuralgia when you're traveling in a bus and the cold air is hitting your face, etc.? So that's how you can get a neuralgia. So think of the causation as cold air. Aggravation, motion, noise, touch, or stooping, bending down. Amelioration, lying on the right side. So your pain is on the left side and you feel better when you lie on the right side. So you don't lie on the painful side, you lie on the opposite side. Quiet, dark room. So what are the concomitants you can have? Since the pain is going down till the eye, you can have an eye pain, tearing, or there is lacrimation and there is photophobia. Left-sided neuralgic headache from eye or trigeminal origin or the trigeminal involvement. Going to the next slide. Asnia barbata. I don't know how many people have heard about it, but one of the best medicines for migraine. Congestive headache, vascular headache with intracranial tension. Sensation of fullness and bursting, as if the brain and eyes would burst out. Bryonia has this, belladonna has this, and asnia has this. Vertex and occiput may, so it usually is on the vertex and the occipital region, and it will keep radiating to different places. And like glonine, these people might have high blood pressure, sun exposure with cerebral congestion. Aggravation, stooping, motion, aggravation, sun heat, just like glonine. Amelioration, cold application, quiet. Concomitants, vertigo, fullness of the head, tightness of the scalp. Keynote, head feels as if it would burst open from vascular congestion. So much of congestion, so much of high BP, as if it's going to burst. Think of asnia barbata. So I just made a table over here. So the different types, different causes, etc. For one is gastric or the bilious kind of a headache. We can think of sanguinaria, iris, naxomica. Sun heat exposure, glonine, belladonna, millilotus, asnia barbata. Hormonal or the menopausal headaches, think of lachesis, sepia, amyl nitrosum. Emotional or mental strain, think of natramur, again sepia, and picric acid. With overwork and fatigue, think of picric acid, epiphagus, and gelsemium. Ocular strain, eye strain, sexual weakness, onosmodium, spigelia, asnia barbata, neuralgia or the trigeminal nerve involvement. So whenever the trigeminal nerve will be there, it will be very painful on one side of this. It will not be alone on the forehead. It will be on the whole side of the face will pain. Spigelia, belladonna, asnia barbata. Congestive or high, it is associated with high BP, high tension, etc. Millilotus. So millilotus has nose bleeding. Asnia barbata, amyl nitrosum, glonine. So these all might be associated with a high BP. Millilotus also, they can be because of high blood pressure. They might have bleeding from the nose. Weather, damp aggravation, natrum sulf, bryonia. Again, I've classified into left and right. So belladonna can come on both sides. Sanguinaria, typically right-sided. Belladonna, both. Glonine, both. Iris versicularis, more on the right side. Naxomica, more on the right side. Bry, more on the right side. Millilotus, both sides. Epiphagus, again, both sides. Asnia barbata, both sides. Amyl nitrosum, both sides. Picric acid is more on right and left again. So typically, Onosmodium, Spigelia, Lachesis, Sepia, Natrum are the ones that can be, natrum sulph also, it can be on the, more on the left side. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pleasure. Is there any,
Is there anyone who would like to ask any question? We have an interactive section now. Please unmute your mic if there is anyone who wants to ask question to Dr. Asha. I guess there is no questions, ma'am.
okay, are there people?
So can we wind up the session?
Yeah, sure. I think one, Dr. Ram Parvesh, sir, someone has raised the arm.
Thank you,
Okay, ma'am.
Dr.Asha B. Varghese.
Thank you, sir.
Very nice, excellent session.
Thank you, sir.
Lot of medicine.
Yes, sir.
Lot of medicine describe the headache and migraine.
Thank you,
Very
sir.
nice, excellent session. And migraine is other headache, migraine with aura, without aura. Lekin due to only suppression of anger, and any types of suppression, suffer
Yes,
of
sir.
mind. है ना? Insulty,
Staphylococcus agria, polo,
Asteria is the
lipo.
best medicine. Yes,
Yes.
yes. So very nice, and a lot of medicine, and
Yes, sir.
right side, left side, any lot of medicine. And every medicine describe the headache. So very, very thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank Very good describe the Irish work.
Yes, sir.
Weekly Sunday headache.
Yeah.
Sunday headache.
This is the only way we'll remember sometimes, sir. Thank you, sir, very much. Any more questions, doctor?
Is there anyone who would like to ask any questions or talk to Dr. Asha? Ma'am, since no one has, I guess no one has raised their hands.
Yes. So it's a time to wind up. It's a 9:30 yet. I think only 5 more minutes. Thank you very much, Dr. Shobana. Thank you very much, all of you who was there patiently listening to me.
Considering the time limited up, and thank you very much. So I'm winding up this session, and we are handing over the session to the Malayalam
Thank you, ma'am.
webinar.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Asha B. Varghese. I cannot attend the class from starting, cannot attend. So this class was already in Malayalam session 2 weeks back. Then I listened. Wonderful class. Your all classes are very wonderful, nice.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay.
हिंदी में कहावत है शास्त्र के कि विषय मनोरथ दुर्गम नाना, विषय मनोरथ दुर्गम नाना, केशव नाम शूल को जाना.
आप थोड़ा समझाएंगे, सर?
हाँ, एक विषय पर ओनली वन, एक विषय पर मनन करने वाला व्यक्ति को शूल माने दर्द होता है। दर्द होता है, बार बार एक ही विषय को मनन करता है, लाता है, तो एक दर्द का बीमारी होता है। ऐसे तो अकॉर्डिंग टू होम्योपैथिक साइंस बीमारी का कारण माइंड है ना। तो
समझा।
सुनो तात मानस रोगा, जिनते दुख पा वही सब लोग। एंगर, जिलियस, ग्रीफ, इंसल्टी, etc. According to homeopathic philosophy, cause of disease invisible,
Yes, sir.
or result is a visible. Headache is a not cause. Headache is a result.
Symptom.
Headache, cause is anger, cause is insulty, cause is grief. Result is headache. So very, very thanks.
Thank you, sir.